Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda Dundas, and this is People at Work. In today's episode, we are dealing with the issue of race in the workplace. I'll be speaking with OrgVitality consultant and project manager Sertrice Grice, who, along with OV partner and vice president Dr. Victoria Hendrickson, developed an anti-racist organization survey. Sertrice, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Clearly, the recent spotlight on the Black Lives Matter movement was the driving force behind the creation of this survey. Can you talk specifically about the development of this survey?
Yeah, so like you said, we're clearly aware of all the protests going on right now in the United States and this movement with Black Lives Matter. And the main focus has been on police brutality. And many organizations immediately came out in support of this movement and offering their solidarity. And there's been some criticism around that from people saying that they're just talking the talk. What are they actually doing to help support? And many organizations internally are looking for ways to do this, and they're not sure what to do. What are those next steps? And on a personal note, as a Black millennial woman in America, I too was looking for ways to contribute to the movement. And with my industrial organizational background and my position here at OrgVitality, I felt best able to help by promoting these issues of diversity and inclusion in the workforce, specifically around race, by working with organizations to improve their internal cultures and helping them measure how people of color experience working at their organization and identifying areas that may need improvement.
The title of the survey is the Anti-Racist Organization, as opposed to something softer like Diversity and Inclusion Survey. Why is that?
So we decided to avoid the title of diversity and inclusion because that's been a buzzword now, and it's been around for a while, and it can be an empty term that people throw out just to check a box and say, we're going to talk about this D&I stuff. And we didn't want to do that this time. We wanted it to be targeted towards this specific topic. And because the items were targeted, it also felt disingenuous to label it as a diversity and inclusion survey because it's not only a diversity and inclusion survey. It is specifically a survey about racial issues. So with that, we did this because it is the topic today in society, and we did that with good reason. According to the Center for Talent Innovation, 1 in 5 Black professionals feel like someone of their race or ethnicity will never make it to a top leadership position. And that's probably because that's also what they're seeing. Among Fortune 500 companies, less than 1% of CEOs are Black. And Black professionals in 2018 held just 3.3% of all executive or senior leadership roles. So this is something that's happening. Racism does exist, and there are structures out there preventing people from having opportunities, and not necessarily on purpose, but just things that we can review. And so that's where we settled on getting into these items and the survey overall.
Who is this survey targeting?
The survey should be used for everyone in the organization. You need to get an overall landscape and understand how people of different races experience the organization. Only then can you start the difficult work of building a more equitable environment.
You spoke earlier about starting conversations, which is clearly the intent of this survey. But once an organization had administered this survey to solicit feedback, then what?
You're right. This is just the first step, and it isn't easy because racism is so ingrained in our society. So after collecting feedback, it's important to really dive into results. And to help you do that, our survey has 2 different demographic questions. One is on race and the other is gender. So you can really see how different groups feel about these issues. Once you've digested the results, you can then identify potential areas of concerns. And after you have those areas of concern, the next step is for leaders to start conversations, really address these issues head on. And a good step here to help would be to hold some focus groups and talk to these people in the different areas and find some improvement ideas. Now, this won't be easy, and it won't be fixed fast. This is truly just one step on a journey. But taking this step is critical to addressing these issues. First, you send a message to all employees about your dedication to righting racial inequalities. Second, it illustrates your willingness to listen to people of color, a group that has been historically ignored and marginalized. And finally, all research shows that diverse organizations simply are just more competitive. So besides the fact that this is just the right thing to do, it's also good for your company. And I'm really hoping that more leaders recognize that and take advantage of this free survey.
Sertrice, thank you for your time today. If you're interested in using our anti-racist organization survey, please visit us online at www.orgvitality.com. Until next time, this is Amanda Dundas with People at Work.